I am Thor, son of Odin, and as long as there is life in my breast, I am running out of things to say.
Great, another broken white boy for us to fix.
That's my secret, Cat. I'm always angry.
You took everything from me.
I don't even know who you are. With great power comes great responsibility. I can do this all day.
Wakanda forever!
Welcome, internets, to another episode of Views from the 616, the blackest MCU podcast in the multiverse, powered by For All Nerds, where we discuss everything in the MCU from the perspective of people of color. And it is one of your hosts, Tatiana King, a.k.a. The Life and Times of Sharon Carter, a.k.a. Doc Ocky, Tesseract Thompson, coldest winter soldier ever, sorry to the Inhumans, and the Wicked Witch of the West View. As always, I'm joined by my bespectacled co-host.
It's your boy, DJ Ben Amin, a.k.a. Brother Voodoo Child, Briss Blairmont, Professor DMX, the Incredible Sulk, Armand Duquesne the Fifth, NBA Youngboy Never Blipped Again, the Off-White Panther, the Power Toker, John. Oh, walk it out.
I gotta say, I forgot about the Armand Duquesne one, and it just reminds me of that kid in the fucking Hawkeye show. Like he was a trip. The little what? Armand Duquesne, he was a seventh. Yeah, he was a little asshole.
I forgot all about him.
Look at us for calling little kids assholes. But welcome to Views from the 616, everyone. I know you've missed us. Oh man, I hope that wasn't in the first 30 seconds. We're gonna get demonetized, but. Thank you all for joining us. As always, we love you, appreciate you. We are back to talk all things, at least this time, Disney Plus shows. And we got a very special look at one little show called She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Dun, 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 dun. We are special peeps, thankfully. So we were able to see the first 4 episodes of the 9-episode series of She-Hulk. So early, we don't even know the episode titles. But what we can give you is an unabashedly honest take of what we thought of the episode. For those who have been writing us for a long time, we have recently changed our format a little bit. For those who are new, this will be great news for you because you're like, you are in it with us. So this is fantastic. But yes, we are just going to be going right into things. We're going to give you a little bit of what we like, what we didn't, and why, and also tell you some of the Easter eggs we thought was interesting. Does that sound good to you, Ben?
Yes, it does. Real quick, She-Hulk is showrun, or the head writer, as Marvel likes to call them, by Jessica Gao. I hope I'm pronouncing their last name correctly. So, they are the ones behind this, and hopefully, we'll continue our streak of having showrunners on this show.
Yes, we do. Oh God, we do have a hot streak, huh? Have we not have a, besides like What If, but like have we not have a showrunner?
And Hawkeye.
Okay.
Damn, that's it though. We did Winter Soldier. We did Loki. We did Miss Marvel. I mean, that's pretty good.
That's a really high batting.
We need to really we need to really have a playlist of that, because that's pretty. I mean, damn. All right.
We'll put up the playlist. We'll put up on our SoundCloud our showrunners playlist. Every time we speak to a showrunner, we're going to add that episode to this list, and that's going to be an extensive list because we are For All Nerds. Views from the 616. That being said, Ben Hameen, even though we saw all 4 episodes, we're only going to focus in on episode 1 today. What were your overall feelings of episode 1 of She-Hulk?
Overall, I enjoyed it. I think having seen the first 4 allowed me to enjoy the pilot more so. I did not think the pilot was the strongest pilot that I've seen from the MCU or from TV in general.
Not as strong as Miss Marvel?
No, definitely not. I thought Miss Marvel was one of the strongest pilots I've seen out of the MCU.
I actually, at this point, I think Miss Marvel is the strongest. In recent history, anyway.
It might be the strongest pilot. It's still battling with Loki for like show, but yeah, as far as pilot,
correct.
I think that joint is I think that's the strongest.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with you there. Overall feelings, Tatiana Maslany, great great choice. I think perfectly cast for this. She's talk about range. We another show we were talking about ranges, the range of actors, and she has the range.
There ain't no one like her when it comes to range. Orphan Black, if you don't know, go watch it. Be astounded like I was every week watching that master at their craft.
That being said, my overall feelings are similar to yours. I think it's a solid show. Episode 1, pilot episode, I think it's solid. It's a good reintroduction into some characters obviously the Hulk, and back into that world, that side of the world anyway. We're centering like on in LA, so you get, it's not New York, and it's not some just random place in the middle of nowhere either. But I just think like it has a lot of fun moments. It has something to say. It remains to be seen exactly what it's trying to say, but you can tell that they're trying to have presence there, and they're trying not to be pretentious. I think that's what I felt the most. Like they're trying not to be pretentious. Like I think people expect, because of She-Hulk, they expect some of the, I guess, being overdone when it comes to like girl power and she stuff. And I think they're deliberately just steering clear of that, or if they do even get near it, they make, kind of fun of it. Like, okay, we're not gonna be like that. But just overall, I think it's a solid show. Is it my top 3? Probably not when it comes to Disney Plus shows. Again, this is only seeing half of this series. That might change as we go on, but that's how I feel.
Yeah, really less than half. So yeah, it could definitely change. It
Less
might
than
turn
half,
into, and these 4 episodes might mean all the world when I've seen all 9. So yeah, I think the campiness and the comic book feeling, I'm a big fan of She-Hulk in general, and her comic book runs by John Byrne did one where he was the first person to use her in the way where she has the breaking the fourth wall, talking to the audience, knowing she's in a comic book, walking in between panels, doing just all kind of weird things, screaming at
shit.
John Byrne, the writer of the comic book, like, why are you giving me these terrible plots and having me fight these terrible villains and things like that? So it was great. And then Dan Slott, another writer I love, he did a run on it, and it was pretty much the same thing where she knew she was in a comic and all this weird stuff and pretty much all the weirdest characters in the Marvel universe. Like there's been some set photos, and I won't reveal who, but there's certain characters who are going to show up later that are like, I mean, it's not that I would never think I'd see them in a MCU thing, but I would just be like, I don't know if I ever needed to see them, but this would be. It's like there's going to be a lot of bottom basement characters, right? And that's what She-Hulk.
Yeah,
that's what She-Hulk the comic was about. Like she would fight and have featured the characters who no one
real
was
ambiguous
using.
randoms, like randoms galore.
I mean, randoms. Like they have 2 of my favorite randoms showing up later in this series. But that's the same thing. At one point, Rocket Raccoon showed up in her series. And at that time, Rocket Raccoon was a random. And now Rocket Raccoon is the man, right? Yeah. And he became the man in the comics before he was even the man in the MCU. But he was not the man then. He was a random. And someone, John Byrne used him. So I think I'm going to like that part of it. The randomness, the comic bookness, the her talking to the camera, all that type of stuff I love. So yeah.
Well, that takes us right into the things we loved about episode 1 of She-Hulk, because that part, you mentioned it already, Ben, for you, the campiness and the comic book feeling. This series really stays very true. Again, if you are a fan of the She-Hulk, of the classic comics books and things like that, you're going to get all of that stuff. So I don't think, if you're that type of person, you're not going to be disappointed whatsoever, because it does that to a T. You have, as you mentioned, that was my thing that I love, the breaking the fourth wall. When at least in live action with comics, I personally haven't seen it to that extent since Deadpool. Like really to like not slapstick, but like you're borderline there, where it's just like you're saying the shit that the audience is thinking, and also sometimes not even realizing, but then vocalizing it, and then you're like, damn, how does She-Hulk observe that and I didn't, and I'm not even the one in the show, right? So you get a lot of that stuff. And it does, like, because the show, first of all, the episodes are short. Like the first episode, I think the runtime says like 33 minutes, but it's probably shorter than that because you're just counting the credits and stuff like that. It's fast. I gotta say that it goes by like that. And I was actually surprised when it ended. I'm like, cause like I wasn't expecting it. Maybe because we just so used to these longer format episodes that this just went by like a blur. But I still felt like I got something out of it.
I think that's also why it goes by so fast, is that it's kind of light
It's
on
like,
plot and on.
well, let's stay in the things we love.
True. Okay.
Yeah.
I love the centering of women in this show. I did love that. This is something like everything I loved about the show, I also disliked,
I'm sure
right?
it has an inverse. There's an inverse to everything. And just for the record, there's an inverse to everything. But let's stick to this lane right now. You love the centering women. I did as well. I do like how it is still a choice of empowerment there. The way the things like and one thing I do like when we talk about centering women, the show doesn't, remember I said earlier how it's not like kind of corny. It doesn't shy away from what it is about women's rights and things like that. Like it just says it. Like the Jennifer Walters just says exactly what it is. There's one point where she's just like, yo, when she's trying to explain to Bruce, she's so frustrated because Bruce like, you gotta control your emotions and your anger. And I felt her when she was pissed at him, like, nigga, I'm a woman. I gotta control my shit all the time. Like, because if I fuck around, like I get catcalled and I fuck around and breathe wrong, I might get killed. And she literally says that word for word, bar for bar. And I was just like, all right, bet. And that's what, when we talk about the centering women and what the stuff we like, I like that they were just direct with it in the dialogue. It wasn't like you were trying to give an allegory or a simile or a metaphor. It was like, nah, I might get killed for fucking up because I'm a woman. You know what I'm saying? So I thought that was fire.
Yep. And let me make this point real quick before in come, the hotepish, the incelish types of people.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
Yeah, I just think that anyone, well, not anyone, but I think this show and what she said with that statement relates to any marginalized group. Like, as a black man, while I don't know what it's like to get catcalled, I mean, I have been catcalled in my time, and it was...
Bellamy said, don't count me out, nigga. I got my share of catcall.
It taught me never to catcall again. Let's just say that. I was like, oh,
what the fuck? Leave me alone.
That don't feel good.
It feels uncomfortable, huh?
A bit. It was
just a bit.
It was DuPont Circle late at night. It was quite uncomfortable. I was carrying my crates of records, just trying to get to my car.
Oh, so your hands wasn't even free. You
drop
the records,
and it was, it was a mob. It was a lot of people, and there was a lot being said. And yeah, I was like, okay, I get it. So, but what I can relate to is having to keep my anger and rage inside all the time, because otherwise I might get killed.
And as a black woman, I feel even more so. Code switching in the workplace. The one other thing that specifically that I wanted to mention, the things we love, and I'm calling the Comic-Con conversation. This is deep and rife throughout the series so far, but particularly also in episode 1. And what I mean by Comic-Con conversation, I literally mean you go to Comic-Cons, whether it's SDCC or New York Comic-Con, and you have your conversations with your fellow fanboys or fan people. You ask these crazy ass questions, or the typical stuff, right? Like Saitama versus Goku and all this other stuff and wild shit like that. These questions are literally like brought up on the show over and over again by different people. They could be relatives of Jen. They could be randoms in the street. They could be people who she worked with. Like, these types of Comic-Con questions come up, and it's so funny because some of the questions and even some of the responses are literally things that Ben and I have talked about on this show, on For All Nerds. Particularly questions like, yo, what's happening in the in-between times after everyone, during the blip? Or what about after the blip? How niggas is making money? Tony Stark not paying them? Shit like that. Those literal questions come up again in this show. There's this whole thing about Steve Rogers being a virgin, this wild theory that Jen has, right? And that goes on throughout the episode.
This guy fucks.
And as I mentioned about breaking the fourth wall, like if there's a clear and obvious plot hole or a lack of justification for someone saying or of a character saying or doing something, Jen actually speaks up on it and says something about it. Like, she'll turn to the camera and be like, well, that didn't make sense. Like, you know what I mean? Like, she'll do shit like that. And again, that's just very Comic-Con conversation to me. I think that's fun because it gives you the levity. I mean, even though it's a light series anyway, it does give you even more added levity and even just some more camaraderie and like relatability, right? Because again, these are the questions we do ask each other.
Mm-hmm. And like you said, this definitely comes up a lot with her and breaking the fourth wall. And I hope they really lean into that. I read an article where they were like debating about how much of her breaking the fourth wall they wanted to do and stuff.
Oh, they going all in. I thought it was going to be just that one time.
Well, no, all in is what I want to see, right? All in is like when she starts doing the ill shit. Like in the comments, she'd be like, in California.
What you
and
want to step her step out of a frame? It's still live action.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like you want to step out of frame and like the boom mic is there. Like you
No,
want
not like that.
Shit?
No, I mean that's one way of doing it, which is great. But I want like the other way of doing it. Like in the comic, one point she's in California and she's like, okay, we got to get to New York, and she's like, don't worry, we'll just step through the panels. And so she just steps across the panel into the New York panel.
Right, and like I said, that works because of that medium. But I mean, do you?
I think there's ways to do it.
Do you want that to be repeated? Like besides walking through Wong's portal, right? Like,
yeah, that's one way.
But that's normal. That's technically normal nowadays. So, but
I don't think they're going to go that hard, though. I don't think they are.
The only thing that would work in the would be like something Black Dynamite, but then that would be too goofy for this type of show, wouldn't it?
If she started arguing with the writers.
Well, she actually says something about well, that's another episode. But she
definitely mentioned stuff about plot and things like that.
She's like she talks about writing devices within the show, so she is talking to the writers. But,
true, indeed, true. So I think they're already doing it well. So all right,
Ben. I mean, just like you said, even though these are great things, there are this the flip side of the things we liked and to the things we disliked, and sometimes it's two sides of the same coin. Do you want to talk about the things you disliked?
Yeah, the centering of women. Need that clip right there.
Someone's going to just clip that, and that's going to be Ben hates women. You know that, right? Like
pretty much do the what's the show Z-Way? Do the Z-Way joint and have Ben hates the lower women. Third. Yeah, on the lower thirds.
Host of acclaimed podcast says he hates all women.
Failed writer says he hates all women. Subpar DJ says he hates all women. Yeah, no. Anyway, no.
But what about it? What specific? Let's be more specific, though. It's not the
bathroom scene was a little goofy to me. That's what I mean.
Tut. And is that the first episode? That is the first episode.
Yep.
I'm trying to get back in focus. Tut. That was goofy to you, but it rang true to me.
Oh, it rang true to me. Don't get me wrong. It rang true to me. I know that's how, I know women carry everything in the world in their purse.
Carrying shit.
I know they're going to be there for each other in the bathroom.
That's literally what happens. Now, like literally, I've seen girls get whole new outfits and fits and hair and all shit. Like that wasn't
they just did it on rap shit. And
Now, I would say that the way it was comic-y, but that's also the theme of this show.
And that, once again, things I like and I didn't like. I liked the comic-y of the show, and then I didn't like the comic-y of the show.
I think that's less about the centering of women, more about just the tone.
Thank you for not getting me canceled.
Well, I'm not trying to talk you out of getting canceled. I'm trying to define what you're really talking about.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like the tone of the show.
The tone is both the gift and the curse for this.
Yes. There it is. There it is. And it's like sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. Now, it is not like a Thor situation where it's specifically, actually, this happened in both of them, but it was much worse in Love and Thunder, where the tone needs to be a little more serious. And it's not. The tone pretty much for this whole episode and for all 4 episodes that I've seen.
God, that movie was such a disappointment. I'm sorry. Damn.
But I knew I should have known. That's saying I should not have been disappointed because I know Taika's strengths and weaknesses. And
I wasn't, this is off track, but I wasn't even expecting anything. I was just went in that bitch and was still disappointed. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. Let's stick with She-Hulk, okay?
I was expecting a little more than that.
Listen, Linda, listen. Escúchame. What else you didn't like about She-Hulk episode 1?
Okay, if we're talking about tone and stuff. All right, this isn't really tone. The training sequence.
It was
Like,
corny.
we watched we watched most of these episodes 2-3 times before we do our reviews. And the first time I was like, okay, this is cute. Second time I was like,
It's kind of just like it's an also ran at this point, and perhaps because we've been inundated with training sequences. And I had mentioned, like, for example, let's just do a comparison. Miss Marvel did not have a training sequence, but damn near the whole thing was her training, right? Like the whole series itself, you saw her in the process of training. Now I can't sit here and say, now again, this is a different tone of the show, and really even the way it's the setup from Jen Walters is, let me just show you now how I got to be in She-Hulk. And it's really literally just a portion of the the bulk of the episode, and then that's it. Because like the setup is even not serious, right? The setup is like she literally says in the setup, bro, I know before we get into all this lawyer shit that y'all niggas don't care about, y'all just want to know how I became She-Hulk. Here it is. And that's what it felt like to me. Even the way it was written, the way it was sequenced in the training sequence and everything else around it, it was like someone saying, yo, let's get this shit out the way so niggas stop asking us.
yeah. And I think that goes back to what we were talking about, because Ms. Marvel does have the quick training sequence with Bruno on the roof and all that type of stuff, as well as the whole series being her training, right?
Right.
But the thing with She-Hulk is that I felt it was kind of like when people are talking about how they need, just in case Shuri is the one in the Black Panther suit, how they're like, we need to see her learn to fight.
Shout out to Ron Soul from Ron from POC Culture, who I was watching him. He really was getting on people for this dumb shit. How like for some reason, like again, when people were saying, well, maybe that's Shuri in the suit, there was this backlash of people saying she ain't got no training. We ain't never seen her train. Da da da. And it's just like, why would it? Y'all niggas don't ask this question about why the fuck Aladdin knows parkour because he's a nigga. But if Jasmine jumped out the window, all of a sudden that's unrealistic. How? This is a fictional character. How? Shuri's a princess and more than likely had some type of training, right? She had the Dora Milaje behind her. Like, I guess to me, even if none of this, even if none of the actual training is true, why can't you just assume that she might have gotten training? And same thing, I guess what you're saying about like when it comes to She-Hulk, like can it just be assumed that she got something going? No,
it could have been shortened even. Yeah,
well, now this I think is a little bit different, particularly because she's a lawyer. Like there's no physicality required in that part, so you do need to see something, but it's less about her training to become a hero because that's something she doesn't even want to fucking do, and more about Bruce trying to like learn her. Like, bro, this is how you do it. This is how it works, and you know what I mean.
She don't need none of that.
And she not trying to hear that noise, but still. And she also doesn't need it. And I think that's also the real main point. Like, writers trying to get out the way and also say, hey, by the way, she don't need this shit. She gon' throw hands when necessary. She'll figure it out.
I think that's what it is. Like I say, if you watch this episode once, and I don't think I think that's one of the strengths of it, is that it is like a perfect end of the summer show, right? It's like Power.
It is.
Like, I can't wait for Power. Power's coming up this week, because I know I can turn on Power. I ain't got to think much. I'm going to be entertained. I'm not going to watch it again, because if I watch it again, I'm going to be like, yo, come on. I mean, half the time when I watched it the first time, I'm like, yo, come on. But I'm still loving it. And that's She-Hulk. I'm going to watch it. I'm going to be like, yeah, this is great. Yo, come on. But, it's over and good.
Yeah,
next week, I'll watch the next one.
I would say it's just, and I guess it's a good contrast to, like I guess, I don't know, Miss Marvel was so well-rounded in all types of emotions, but also like there was still some serious stuff, and I guess this is one that's just not as serious. Like, because I'm trying to think, like, do they need a foil for something that was serious that came out? But I guess not.
Miss Marvel was also kind of, goofy at points too, and
yeah,
Miss Marvel dealt with some serious topics,
and that's what I'm saying. Perhaps maybe that's on purpose, because it's just like, okay, let's give you a different taste of things. They try to ride the wave of emotions. Just like, all right, we got you over here, heartfelt, all this other stuff. Okay, let's bring you down to like,
let's have some
chill.
fun.
Let's just have some fun, like you said. End of the summer, days getting shorter. Unfortunately, let's just give you something to laugh at and something to vibe with.
Yeah, definitely. And it's still summertime. I mean, this is gonna go all the way into the fall, so days will be shorter then. But yeah, it's definitely still that. Let's have some fun right now.
Yeah, definitely. And that just leads to like the last things we disliked about, same thing about we talk about tone and stuff like that. The plotting, even, it seems a little bit too easy, I guess, too convenient. How convenient. And it could make things feel a bit trite. And it's like, okay, but it's also, as I said before, I think they're just trying to get it out the way because they're trying to say, yo, this is not what's important. What's important is the story of Jennifer Walters and her capabilities and the fact that people, including her own cousin, is doubting her and all the stuff. But at the same time, she's going to learn that she still has lessons to take on, to learn and shit like that. I know for you, Ben, I mean, that one main thing was about the whole blood. The blood.
The blood. I got blood under my fingernails. Only a few people are going to understand that reference. In the comic books, Jen is with Bruce. They're driving a car, and some mobsters roll up on them because Jen's a lawyer, and she did some trial with the mobsters, and they pulled a drive-by. She gets hit. Bruce takes her back to his apartment and gives her a blood transfusion because this is comics, and why not? Instead of taking her to a hospital, and somehow the blood transfusion stops the bullets from killing her. Bruce's logic, I guess.
How'd you going? Well, what do you mean? The skin is impenetrable.
No. At this point, she's human. The bullets are in her.
I don't know. I ain't got no answers.
Yeah, it's like Bruce is like, instead of taking you to a hospital and surgery, I'll give you a blood transfusion. That'll help.
Well, Ben, I mean, you're the main one who was like, "Fuck real hospitals." Thor. Like, remember that? So
true. So.
Why are we doing hospitals, bro? Like regular ass people hospitals, bro? We know Wakanda. You know what I mean? You was the proponent of that. So I hear it.
So in the comics, Bruce gives her a blood transfusion, which would not fly on the show for a million reasons. So they just have the blood dripping to her. And like we said, it's goofy, it's corny, but it's also, who cares? Let's get into it. Boom. Now she got the blood. She's She-Hulk. We're done. Next episode, we can do whatever we want.
All right. Character-wise, and this is straight from IMDb, so I'm not telling y'all anything secret or stuff that you have no idea. Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk, played by Tatiana Maslany. Bruce Banner, the Hulk, played by Mark Ruffalo. Abomination, played by returning Tim Roth. By the Hulk 2008, when the Hulk was famously played by Ed Norton. Wong, played by
Great joke about that coming up in an episode.
Yeah, for sure. Wong, played by Benedict Wong. Nikki Ramos, played by Ginger Gonzaga. Titania, played by Jamila Jamil. You know her. That's Ben's girl. You know her from The Good Place.
Yes, and also Titania is not one of my favorite characters, but she's really great.
And she also ran too. She's one of the also ran. I mean, now she'll be more, but she was kind of an also ran character.
Okay, this thing, Titania and her homegirl Volcana were both made.
Fucking names.
Yeah, were both made in the first Secret Wars. But Titania both of them actually caught on because of their relationships. Like Titania falls in love with the Absorbing Man. And so she's been like, Al Ewing giving you her.
I'm sorry. Continue. That's neither here nor there.
Well, Absorbing Man was actually in S.H.I.E.L.D., so the S.H.I.E.L.D. show, but he's a person, he does exactly what he says. He absorbs anything he touches. So if he touches steel, his skin becomes steel. If he touches adamantium, his skin becomes adamantium.
Oh, he becomes the thing.
And if he touches Thor's hammer, so this dude is actually ultra powerful because Al Ewing
different from Rogue touching things.
Yeah, crazy different because Al Ewing.
Oh, because she actually takes it out of the people. Okay, go ahead.
And yes, because let me finish. Because Al Ewing used him in his run, and a lot of people use him, and his powers come from magic. Loki actually gives him his power, so his powers don't make sense really. Like at one point, he's like, well, he touches a jet ship, right? And he's
so he turns into an F-18 or something stupid. God, this is so dumb.
But that's what it is, it's magic, so it don't make sense. So So anyway, Titania and Absorbing Man have this relationship in the comics that's really dope and has, all the way up until the recent Hulk run by Al Ewing goes in there. So I always love great relationships in comic books. And so I love Titania because of that. So I hope they bring back Absorbing Man or something and give her that side because that would really do it.
I
for me.
would like to see the randoms come in and
well, they're two randos.
and Jennifer's like, who is this fucking random? Like, why are you here?
And
What's
Absorbing
going
Man,
on?
yeah, they need to bring him back. I hope they do.
And last but not least, and again, there's a lot more people to be announced, but these are just the people who are just have like solid names, like solid bolded names on the IMDb. Daredevil, Matt Murdock, Charlie Cox, returning triumphantly. They are inserting this nigga back in the MCU proper. This is what his fourth appearance at this point, back into like the mainstream MCU.
They said his series is 18 episodes.
Yeah, the series is ridiculous.
Born Again, 18 episodes.
Right. So what does that mean for Luke Cage?
He better be in it. If you got 18 episodes, I mean, my man can't get a guest appearance. Like, Jesus.
What about Jessica Jones?
Well, they actually said that.
Well, we know the Punisher's coming back, but
we are, and also they said that in Echo, Daredevil showing up, and he's going to be looking for someone who is probably Jessica Jones. So we might see her even before that.
Okay.
Yeah. I feel like with 18 episodes, they're going to bring back all of them. This is Marvel.
All right, well, the scrappy people coming back. Were there any particular Easter eggs or music or anything you wanted to point out? I mean, I love was that this episode with Eve?
Yes.
Who's that girl?
That was great. Great drop.
Great.
Led Zeppelin shirt that Jennifer is wearing when she wakes up with Bruce is Tony's shirt, which is kind of weird to me. It's one of those like Easter eggs that's like, come on now. That shirt would still be around.
There's a lot of Tony worship in this episode.
It's also, it's like, why would that shirt still be around? It's like just for an Easter egg.
Think about who gave it to her. Hulk gave it to her. Again, this is a lot of Tony worship in this episode. There's a lot of Tony worship
So he's holding on to that?
He's holding on to everything. Like, how many times did he say that nigga's name? How many times was he showing stuff about Tony and this and this and that? Like, he misses his man. So
A lot.
Yeah, so yeah, I definitely think he kept his shit. Hell yeah. Tony made his fucking lab. Come on, bro.
I also like that Tony's lab contains death traps. Like, I really like that Tony built in death traps, I just love that. That was a great little Easter egg for me. I think that was about it. Yeah, there was all the Tony love. We see that the black and gold helmet that was smashed up. Yes. All those little things. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the shirt was the big one for me. And also the dick move punch. When he punches her off the cliff, he does the same punch that Hulk hit Thor with in the first Avengers movie when he comes with the straight hand, wham. And then dick move is a callback to the second Avengers movie when Thor is wailing on the Hulkbuster suit and Tony says, dick move, Banner. Dick move. Dick move, Banner. I love that one.
Yeah.
Dick move, Banner. So great.
So that is the
R.P. Tony, my dog, man. Miss that dog.
That's the end of I miss my Uncle Tony. That's the end of Tony. That's the end of our review for episode 1. We hope you enjoyed this. Again, new format for those who've been listening for a long time. This is just how it's been for the people who are new here. We appreciate you. If you liked what you heard, I know you did, you're still listening, make sure you are subscribed on your favorite podcast platform. Also follow us on the twitch.tv/4allnerds. If you have Amazon Prime, you get a free Prime subscription to any Twitch channel of your choice. Please let that be 4allnerds. You could just link your accounts and do that. Just Google how to do that. You'll figure it out.
Oh, we've been back on there too. I've been back DJing. I might be on there tonight.
I've been watching.
Yeah, but we've been back. I'm gonna be doing some video gaming soon. Yeah, we've been back heavy.
Make sure you are also watching. Well, let me go towards what Ben Amin's doing right now. He is having Miss Minutes dancing a little dance, dancing her dancy dance. Would you like to fuck around and find out? Says Miss Minutes, which is one of our many incredible designs in our TeePublic stores. TeePublic is our merch page. That's where you can get all of these amazing designs on a variety of different products. So t-shirts, hoodies, cups, mugs, masks, everything you can think of is on there. teepublic.com/stores/4allnerds. Beautiful Inclusion is Revolution cup. Make sure you're following us on the socials at Views from 616 on the Twitters, at 4allnerds on Twitter and Instagram. And you can follow me all over the world at Tatiana King with thirst traps and all that stuff. DJ Ben Hameen with the cool fits. the fire sneakers, and everything else in between. Did I miss anything else? Oh, I did. Shout out to the fam on Patreon. Without y'all, this wouldn't exist in this iteration anyway. We need y'all. We appreciate y'all. Thank y'all for supporting us financially. Patreon.com/forallnerds. Every tier is a great tier. We need more supporters, okay? This is how we are able to do cool things like all the professional stuff we produce, and this is how we pay our staff, right? So if you want more cool things, please support us there. Again, every tier is great, and you get special privileges. Now, did I miss anything else, Benjamin?
No, I think that's about it. We got big things planned for Black Panther, Wakanda Forever. If you are in NYC, more to come on that.
Even if you ain't, book a flight.
Yep, if you ain't, book a flight. That's about it, I think. Hit that like and subscribe.